Welcome to Starfield, everybody. I'm excited to get started. 25 years in development for this game, and I'm so excited to share my experience. With you guys. This is my list, 31 reasons why Starfield sucks. The game doesn't actually suck. It's a slightly above average game, but these are 31 reasons why, well, 31 reasons that are holding the game back from being a great game. Besides number one, they're in no particular order. Number one, I think, is the main reason holding the game back, but the other ones are not in particular order of significance. Number one, Creative Engine 2. It's a disaster. This engine should have been, the last game it should have been used for was Fallout 4. Somehow it's 7 years later, so what, 8 years later, 7 or 8 years later, and we're still using this engine. It is a heavily modified Creative Engine 1. It's 1.5. And Creative Engine 1 is from 2006. Okay, we're talking the second decade of life. This thing should have died with Fallout 4.
You are back. You did not respond when I called to you after you pulled out the artifact. Does that mean Barrett's theory and experience were correct? The artifact grants the first person who touches it a vision?
It was used in 76, now it's used in Starfield. It does not work in this modern age of gaming. It does not compare to other open world engines like they use for Red Dead 2, like they use for The Witcher, that are actually open world, that you can cross vast landscapes, and if you want to, manually cross the landscapes, not have to fast travel. That's not an option in Starfield, okay? Like, you can't manually fly around the galaxy. It's just fast travels, because the engine is not capable of allowing you to manually move around the map.
Hopefully, I do have a bounty on me. Game's awesome.
So we're stuck with fast travels. And like I said, a lot of these other reasons are just limitations from an engine that is nearly 20 years old. I swear. This engine is on hospice care. It is about to die. And every year, Todd, they staple more parts to it. They give it injections, steroids, growth hormone to keep it alive and roll it back out for the devs to make a new game with. I'm stunned they used it for Fallout 76, and that was a fucking disaster. And somehow they still used it for Starfield. Creative Engine just has to start from scratch. Make a new engine. Creative Engine 3, start from scratch. No modifying, no duct tape and shit. New engine, because it does not work in modern age of gaming, open world RPGs anymore.
Sir, let go of him. You gotta let him go, sir.
Although there are a few problems with the game, for instance, right here on Xbox, I had a few glitches like this. On PC, I had a couple crashes. For the most part, it has been a relatively stable launch, especially for a Bethesda game, which you know has a very bad track record for launches of games.
Number two, space is the background, not the playground. You are hardly ever flying in space. Yes, you have space combat. Yes, you have to fly sometimes, like to space stations, but you're hardly ever actually flying in space. The reason? You can't actually fly anywhere. Space is just a box. You can't fly in space and then fly to something besides a space station. All you're doing in the space is random events and spawning in solar systems you haven't spawned in before. If you're actually exploring, you can spawn in new solar systems and discover them, but then you're just fast traveling. You can't spawn in the solar system and then fly to a planet. That's not possible. Somebody actually tried to do that. It took them 7 hours to fly to a planet. The planet's just a flat piece of paper that you fly through. It's not actually there. It's not actually rendered in.
I spent 7 hours flying from space to a planet in Starfield. Here's what happened when I actually got there. Ooh. It was flat. We just went right through it. Wait, but it still says 0. Hang on. Am I inside Pluto?
You're in a box, and you can't leave the box. The only way to leave this box you're in, flying in space, is fast traveling, because that's the limitations of the Creative Engine. Because of this, you're hardly ever actually flying in space. So basically, you're fast traveling everywhere. It's a fast travel game. You're hardly ever in space, so for the few times you're doing space combat and some missions and whatnot, but for the most part, this game could have taken place on the same planet with different biomes. It'd feel almost the same. Number 3, this has been a trend with Bethesda. The RPG elements are just every year shaved off a little bit more. We saw with Fallout 4, 76 more so, and now with Starfield, there's hardly any RPG elements. There's just no consequences to decisions. You can customize your guys somewhat, but it's just not anywhere near the RPG elements that we saw before, especially with decisions. No matter what you decide in missions, it's the same outcome. Honestly, combat is more fun sometimes than actually just trying to persuade people or sneaking. But, I mean, you do have options, but at the end of the day, it's the same outcome no matter what.
Well, that's not your decision. You really believe that? What did I do?
Easy. Easy.
Can't believe I'm saying this. But if I'll get you out of my hair, they're in the other room here.
Let's go, man. We got the maps.
Number 4, the skill tree. I don't know why they have to keep changing it. The skill tree is fine. It was fine in Fallout 3. It was fine in Skyrim. They don't got to keep changing it. Fallout 4, they made it worse. 76, they made it worse. Here, I kind of like what they did with some of the skill tree stuff where you have to actually like perform the task to get the skill up. But before you can actually learn how to do it, you have to put the skill points into it.
Hey, there we go. I think that's expert now.
And you can't respec if you want to at the end of the game or if you finish the main quest. So it's just like you have to just plan out, especially for a casual, you have to plan out all your skill points because skill points are hard to come by. Like it takes a while to level up and you don't have too many skill points, and the lower the tiers in there's 5 charts. The lower you go, the more you need. Like you need like 7 skill perks to get to the 3rd level. I think 9 or 10 to get to the 4th, and that takes a while. You got to invest a lot of skill points into them. So for a casual person, they're not thinking that far ahead, and you can't respec. So it's just fucked. Number 5, the load screens. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm just banging my head against the wall. I'm on my phone when I am playing the game at this point, so, especially for certain missions where you're literally just going from A to B. It's just load screen after navigation menu, fast travel after load screen after fast travel after walk 10 feet to another door, load screen, fast travel. It's unbelievable.
Wait, what? Another load screen? I just went through like 3. I went through a load screen to load the bar? It couldn't load the bar with the rest of it? Not even that big. What the fuck is this engine doing, man? This is it? They loaded this?
It's just showing the limitations of Creative Engine 2. It's just another reason why they shouldn't have used it. Another reason why they have to get Creative Engine 3. Everything is in a box. You can't actually go anywhere without having to load somewhere. And especially between different planets and space, everything's just fast traveling. There's hardly any like normal discovery of just walking around your environment. There is none of that. Except maybe in the cities, but even the cities feel small. These are the biggest cities that they've ever built. Where? Like everything's just in a box somewhere. You're in one section or the other, and to get between them, you gotta do 15 seconds of loading screens. Now, thankfully, on the Xbox, consoles, it is bad. You're on loading screens all the time. On PC, which I was lucky to play, I played both. On PC, it's slightly better, but you're still just so many load screens. Fallout 3 had more of an open environment that you could roam around than this game. This is, what, 15 years later? It's ridiculous. Number 6, planet exploration. It's just not really worth your time. It's very boring. It's obviously quite repetitive. I know people were kind of expecting the No Man's Sky approach, but it's obviously not like that. There's more down the list about planet exploration specifically, like outposts and resources. and whatnot, but because of the excessive load screens, and it's just fast traveling. That's all you're doing, is just fast traveling. You're not really even exploring. When you land on a planet, you basically pick a point, and the point you pick on the planet has almost nothing to do with what you're actually seeing. If you pick a point on the planet, it's like, oh, it's on the coast, and you land there, it's probably not even on the coast. Like, probably don't even see any water. It has nothing to do with where you pick. And when you land, you're just landing in a box. If you go too far out of the box, you get sent back in.
Right in between, they've got water, you got uranium, you got everything there. It's cool that you can actually pick where you land on the planet. We're exploring. I'm not gonna lie, this looks like a shithole.
And then you can land in a different box. So it's just a series of boxes on a planet somewhere that you can't go outside, because if you go outside the box, oh my god. And the seeds are unique to each planet, so like each planet can feel different. But the 1,000 planets, you think every planet feels different? No, I bet a lot of planets feel the same. And you have randomly procedurally generated like locations to go to. But guess what? You go to 20 planets, you start seeing the same locations over and over again. And you start to see the same enemies over and over again on these planets. So it's not like there's really uniqueness to it. You go to 10 planets, you've basically seen them all. Number 7 is, I alluded to it, but the open world is not really open. You can't go anywhere. You know, in other games, in open world, you could fast travel, or you could just manually go across the map if you wanted to. Red Dead, you could go on a horse, go across the map if you wanted to. The Witcher, you could do that. Like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, you could go in your ship and go across if you wanted to. You would eventually get to a town, have to load into the town. But the point is, you could fast travel, or you could go across manually if you wanted to, and like try to get some immersion into the game about what it's like to be, you know, a pirate or whatever. In The Witcher 3, about being a Witcher, just travel, like live in the environment.
Like, why can't I just land on the planet immediately? Why do I have to fast travel outside? I can't just land. I have to fast travel the outskirts of the planet. I have to open the menu again to land. Yay.
This game, you can't do that. It's not even an option. That's what I'm saying. Is like, those other games, you could fast travel, or you could manually go across. This game, you have to fast travel. This is not an open world game, okay? This is just a series of fast travel points connected together that you can do out of sync if you want to. In that sense, you can do whatever you want. It's an open world game, but it's certainly not open. Number 8, space combat. Space combat is so one-dimensional, it just makes me sick. There's no tactics, no flanking, no like sneaking up on people, no like coordinating with other ships. There's nothing, okay? Space combat basically comes down to, you get swarmed by 5 ships, and you attack, and you take out the enemy ships before they take you out. And if you do that fast enough, you win. There's no tactics involved. There's no, like, you just get swarmed by anyone that ever attacks you. And if you either take them out as quickly as possible, or you die. That is the one-dimensional space combat we have.
Okay, I'm just gonna die. Like, what do you want? Okay, it's fucking dumb. Holy shit. Oh my god, dude, this game is so fucking frustrating. Space combat is so fucking bad. Why? I refuse to believe that I cannot outrun anybody.
Number 9, your starting ship sucks. It fucking reeks. It's awful. And its drawbacks just hurt you in every way possible. First off, space combat with this first ship is fucking dog shit. Just literally avoid space combat at all costs. You couldn't take on a fucking butterfly. It's terrible. Second, the ship has 0 cargo capacity, and you pick up a ton of shit in the game to sell, right? To make credits because you want to make money. But the problem is, you can't carry anything. Your ship has almost no carry capacity, so instantly you're over encumbered the entire time, and you can't actually upgrade your ship, because to upgrade your ship, you need to take out other ships, in space combat, but your ship is so dog shit you can't even fucking. So it's just like it's a self-eating cycle. Like you can't fix the problem unless you somehow just unlock, or if you get lucky enough to 1v1 and steal somebody else's ship. That's the only way. But this ship, it took so long to overcome its drawbacks, and it's right in the beginning of the game. Number 10, fuel range on your ship is just the stupidest fucking arbitrary, like, not a paywall, but essentially a skill wall in the game. The fuel range is your grav drive, okay? So it's how far you can go in a single fast travel point, okay? So the starting ship, I think, is 50. You can get into the hundreds if you want to. But it serves no fucking purpose except to be a fucking stone wall just to stop you, just because the devs want to fucking stop you from moving too far in space at one time. The fuel range makes no sense if you just think about it for more than 3 seconds, okay? You never have to refuel. All you do is fast travel, and it's automatically filled anyways. The only thing it stops you from doing is basically fast traveling a farther distance. That's the only thing it does. So let's say you have to go a certain distance. Instead of it being 1 fast travel in load screen, it'll be 3 or 4 fast travels in load screens. And that's it. The only reason to upgrade the grav drive is literally just so you can fast travel like a less amount of time and spend less time in load screens. That's it. That's the entire purpose of the fuel range. It makes no sense except to be a hindrance.
All right. So, missions. Mantis. Yes. On course. Unexplorable. Why can't I go there? Oh, it's gonna take a bunch of jumps. Power up grav drum.
Number 11, the graphics are complete dog shit. Like, it's 2023, these are muddy fucking graphics from Fallout 4 in 2015 or 16, and it looks like they made no improvement. I know the game's not optimized for shit because it just came out, but it's kind of fucking ridiculous that, like, you're basically playing in these self-contained boxes all game, and the graphics still look like shit. Like, you don't even have that much to render. Like, The Witcher 3 looked amazing on launch, and you could navigate the entire world map if you wanted to, and everything looked great, like fucking everything. But here, like, literally, if I fast travel into like one shop, the shop looks like shit, even though it's all that's being rendered by the entire engine at that time. So it makes no fucking sense. And obviously the game's not optimized for shit. Xbox 30 frames per second, dog shit. PC 60 frames with my 3060, but it struggles at times with 15 frames. It's just like it. How can this game look like such shit when there's not even that much to fucking render in your face? Number 12, the oxygen CO2 system. This is just like one of the most insulting things I've ever seen in any video game. So basically, it's a stamina system. It makes sense in space because there's no oxygen. So in space you have your oxygen tank, and if you breathe too much, you CO2 buildup. That makes sense. That actually happens in like spacecraft.
I will literally pay any amount of money on the planet for just like unlimited oxygen sprint speed, because it's just so annoying having to stop every 2 seconds.
What doesn't make sense is that this system still is still in play on planets that have oxygen. Okay, so New Atlantis is basically Earth 2.0. It has oxygen at like 24%, 22%. So it has oxygen on the planet. So why am I running out of oxygen, and why am I building up CO2 on a planet with oxygen?
I'm gonna go sell all my stuff, and then I'm gonna customize my ship.
I can assure you this unprovoked attack on a United Colonies research...
Where's the kiosk? Here?
It makes no fucking sense. They just got lazy and didn't put a stamina system in for planets that have oxygen. They just kept this stupid CO2 oxygen system in for all planets, regardless of if it actually has oxygen or not. So it makes no fucking sense. It feels like out of place. It just feels like a lazy, just laziness. Instead of just having a stamina system when it's needed, they just kept this same CO2 oxygen mechanic, and it just feels, it doesn't make any sense. It just does not make sense. Number 13, pronouns. People are upset about it. I didn't even see it the first time around when I played the game. I don't really know why people are so upset, but people are upset, so I just put it on the list, because why not? I don't really care. I'm not saying, I'm just not going to say anything about it. It's on the list, though, but whatever. Number 14, again, kind of with the fast travel stuff, is you're in the menus a lot in this game, and the menus in UI generally fucking suck. there's like lag and load times to open up the menu, and many times you have to like hold down buttons to exit the menu, and like exit. When you hit exit in the menu, it actually just opens up the map more, which is fucking annoying. Like when I hit exit, I want to exit. I don't want to open up the map more. Like exit means exit. Exit doesn't mean expand, okay? That's not what exit means. Well, that actually, sorry. Escape. It's not what escape means. I want to escape the fucking menu system, okay? Like, I hate this UI. Thankfully, on PC, it's fixed. But the UI in general is just not good. Like, everything is a fucking load screen. And even opening up the menu, which should not take any time at all. The menu should instantly open. Even the menu has, like, a little load time to it to open, and then open different parts, inventory, map, whatever. Like, why does even the menu have a load time? Everything has a load time in this game. Number 15, there's a new lockpicking system. I don't hate the lockpicking system, okay? The digi-stick thing is fine. It's different. It takes a lot more brain power, I'd say. Like you can do a bobby pin lockpick kind of in your sleep at this point. Like it takes like almost no effort. Basically, you can just go on autopilot. This actually takes like real thinking and logic to do, so I kind of like that they changed it.
Oh my god. This is actually gonna be fucking crazy.
The problem is they've done this, and then they've made it so like every other object and box and gate and door in 2330 Future Earth is locked. Everything's locked. So you're going to be spending so much time because each lockpick takes much longer. Like an expert lockpick will take like minutes to do, when in other games bobby pin would take like 30 seconds. If a lockpick in Fallout 4 took a minute, that's like a world record, okay? You will spend numerous minutes on lockpicks, like, because you have to think about like the concentric rings and which keys you have. It's a very intricate system. They should have done this where there weren't as many locked objects, because I feel like it's spending so much time in these lockpicking mini games.
Easy. Dude, none of this is like, who's keeping their stuff in here?
Number 16, the bounty mechanic. This really hinders you a lot until you kind of understand how it works, and basically doesn't allow you to go to certain spots. Basically, if you attack different factions, you would get a bounty for that faction, and there's no way to go to a system controlled by that faction unless you either pay off the bounty or like kill everybody. And in the beginning of the game, you don't have the power, like your ship is shit, so you basically have to pay off the debt. And there's just a lack of options here. Like, why can't I sneak in? So, for instance, if you attack the UC and you're doing the main quest for Constellation, you can't get to New Atlantis because you have a bounty. You can't sneak in or anything, and you basically pay off the bounty because you're not killing everybody. So it doesn't work that way. Number 17, there's a serious lack of interesting spacesuits. Of course, you have like your Mantis spacesuit, and you have a lot of the like really cool ones, but you don't get that till like you know, either specific quests that you have to kind of know about, or you get towards the end of the game, or finish, you know, factions or whatnot. But just generally picking up spacesuits from enemies of whatever faction, there's a real lack of variety, and they all kind of look the same. Of course, besides the like epic or legendary, even the yellow ones.
Oh my goodly god. Look at that armor. Look at that succulent armor. And put it on. Yes. Yeah. Mantis. 25% oxygen consumption plus 25% thermal resistance, mirrored 4% chance to reflect attacks, basic boost pack. What about the other one? 50% minus fall damage plus 40% carry capacity. Grants 100 plus energy resistance, physical resistance, lower your health. Oh yeah.
But even some yellow ones, which are the rarest in the game, look generic. Like there's just a lack of basically cool looking spacesuits in the game, I feel. Number 18, I'll give you a scenario here, okay? You visited Neon City once, you have no idea what system it's in, how do you find it? Okay, there's no list, there's no catalog, there's no index you can look. Where have I been? What cities have I visited? Blah, blah, blah. Do I have any missions that go there? Maybe if you get lucky enough for that. The only way to really find a specific city that you don't have a quest for, or like a planet, is just to go manually through all of them. Like, there's no index to find stuff. And I thought that was really odd, because in a game where there's 1,000 planets, like, what if I'm looking for one in particular, like one specific planet? Like, how do I find this specific planet? Can I search it in an index? Like, can I look up like where have I been, like kind of stuff, like a history, like a search history? Don't look at my search history. Anyways, I thought that was odd, not to have some kind of index to find places you've been or cities you've visited.
Clear when we get to number 25 on the list. To clarify, this bounty system is not bad, but for instance, if you destroy a lone UC ship with no one else around to witness, you will still get a bounty regardless. Consequences for decisions are a good thing, don't get me wrong, but there should be ways to work around mechanics like this. It simply continues to severely limit the amount of space combat you can engage inside a space game, and that's disappointing.
Number 19. Back to skills. The only way to really effectively level up skills is to essentially hyper-focus on them. For instance, the pilot skill, that one you need to destroy enemy ships. You don't really have too much space combat in the game as it is, so to really level up skills like that, you have to basically hyper-focus on that and just literally just go from system to system looking for ships to destroy. Other skills not so much, like obviously carry capacity if you're doing that, or taking damage with shields. Again, combat though, that's kind of rare. And like lockpicking everywhere. But certain skills, and I'd say most of the skills, you have to hyper focus, and if you want to get them up in any meaningful speed, because otherwise if you don't hyper focus on them, or at least be thinking about them at all times to like, oh, I gotta do this, you're never gonna get those skills up. Number 20, AI in combat is just so fucking stupid. In space, not so much, but in actual like hand-to-hand combat, on the ground combat, anywhere, is just so dumb. They will like stand, like let's say three like rooms with enemies in each. They will just listen to their friends be shot and killed in the other room. You're like, wow, I'll just stay in this room and wait, and then they'll only attack you once you're actually in that room. It is so bad. It is rivaling Fallout 76 bad, dumb AI. And I cannot tell you how many times this has happened where they take cover behind giant explosive red flammable barrels all the time. It's like they're programmed to intentionally hide behind them. I know they're in lots of other games and stuff, and there's a meme about it, whatever, but like, why are they intentionally going behind these barrels just for me to shoot the explosives and kill them? Like, it doesn't make any sense. No AI with a brain, no person with 12 brain cells would do that.
Jesus Christ, that guy just disappeared. Oh, med pack, thanks. I think they're dead.
So it kind of just makes it feel stupid, because like they're essentially just killing themselves. They're just running right behind barrels for me to shoot them. That is a microcosm of the AI. There's tons of other things. They're just generally not great. And because of this, combat's very repetitive in that way, because the AI is pretty stagnant. They don't move too much, so you're basically just running around big open rooms, running around trying to find them, because they're not actually maneuvering that much and flanking. They're basically just waiting for you to kill them. 21. I don't think they've really figured out like faction interactions. Like if you were to choose all the factions at the same time and you were doing quests for all, like how that would interact with each other. Because for me personally, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but like I screwed up one faction when I was undercover with a different one. I'm on like 3 different factions right now at the same time, which makes no sense. So like I don't think they've figured out exactly how that interacts. I'm pretty sure it's a glitch that I've gotten into, because I'm with 2 different factions that are actually at war with each other, but I'm not at war with either. So it doesn't, like, there's no handshake there. There's no handshake. Doesn't make any sense. So I don't think they've really figured out how that's supposed to work in the game yet, because nobody beta tested it. 22. Literally one of my most hated things ever in open world games like this is the vendors have no credits. It's just fucking stupid. It's such an easy fix. It's an incredibly, like, one of the first PC mods I downloaded was this fix, but it's just fucking stupid. Like, I'm so tired of this shit. Okay, all the vendors have like 5 to like 11K max, and you pick up a ton of shit, so you have to sell a ton of shit. You know what the best cities are in the game? The best cities are where the most merchants are closest together. Those are the best cities, okay? Like New Atlantis, The Key, and I think that's about it. Neon City too, because they have the most merchants, the closest together.
Dude, why do these kiosks never have enough credits? They have 5,000 credits max at all times. 5,000 credits, like, is nothing in this game. God, man, like, So many Bethesda games have this problem where vendors don't have enough credits or currency to sell stuff to. So it just becomes a game of going to 11 different vendors every time you need to sell stuff.
You go to one vendor, you sell all like 3 of your guns, you're done. You go to the next vendor because it's already 5K. I get that like they don't want to have you like get crazy money that quickly, but like you're not stopping me from going to more vendors. You're just making it more annoying that I have to go to more vendors. Like, I'm gonna go and sell my shit regardless of like how many vendors I have to go to. It's just annoying that I have to go to so many. It's just like it's another artificial wall to stop me from just like unloading all my shit. And I have to because I can't carry enough shit and my ship fucking sucks and doesn't have enough room to carry all my shit. So I kind of have to sell all my shit. 23. If you ever max out your ship, which does not take a long time, I personally focused a lot on my first run through on the science skills, so I could basically upgrade my ship all the way, and that did not take that long, like 15 to 20 hours max, 20 hours max to upload it. But I kind of hyper focused. Once you do that, you sink like half a million credits into your ship, fucking badass, whatever you want, best weapons, tons of cargo space, of course.
I don't know. Oh, it's gold. I like it. It's gold. It's a gold ship. It's gold.
All the habitats, like just looking cool, like whatever color scheme and stuff. After you do that, credits don't really mean shit anymore. There isn't that much to buy. Like there's no like secret vendor. It's like, oh my god, this gun's like 9 million credits. Like that doesn't really exist. Like the most expensive thing I've ever seen is like 30,000 credits, which is not even that much money.
It's depressing.
I'm looking to trade, man. Look like a trustworthy guy. Why is that worth so much? I guess it's not worth that much. Fight Arc.
Besides the ship, there isn't that much to spend credits on. You can buy houses, but like, why would you buy a house when like your ship's your mobile house? So like, the economy kind of like breaks like after like you kind of just max out your ship. Which again, 15-20 hours. It's not a lot of time to max out your ship. 24. Speaking of ship upgrades, this one's a kick in the fucking nutsack. When you're actually upgrading them, there are different vendors that sell different stuff, okay? So, like, the UC sells specific stuff. The guys at the Key, or the girl at the Key sells different stuff. Free Collective sells different stuff, okay? So they have, like, specific things that they sell, only they sell. There's no way to, like, catalog and compare the stuff. It's like, let's say, like, the UC sells, like, a really good missile launcher. And so does the Crimson, and so does the Freestar Collective, right? How do you compare those three? Like, you have to buy one and compare it? No, you can't. So basically, you gotta take pictures. Like, there's no way to, like compare. It's really annoying because, and then, don't forget, you have to actually fly to those places. So you're taking pictures with the UC guy, you fly all the way to the Key, you gotta, you gotta fast travel there, load screen, you gotta dock, you gotta enter, load screen, you gotta run through, you gotta go to another door, load screen, then you gotta talk to her. And then you gotta fast travel to the Freestar Collective. You gotta land on the city. You gotta run through. You gotta load. You gotta run through. You gotta go into the door. You gotta load again. You gotta talk to the guy. There's no way to really compare. So that was just like one very specific thing that I found. I was like, that's just annoying. That's just like why? Like why is that? Why is it that way? Why? That was one annoying feature. I wish there was some kind of catalog that you can compare the parts, because you have to remember they all sell a lot of the same parts. Like 95% of the parts they sell are the same. So like remembering that, like if you didn't take pictures and you're trying to remember just off of memory, good fucking luck with that. 25. There's a serious lack of enemies outside of the 3 main factions, the Crimson, the UC, and the Freestar Collective. If you want to do space combat outside of those, like without attacking those 3 factions, because they're strong, remember, you're gonna get a bounty. There's like no one to attack. The only time you really get to do space combat outside of those 3 are random encounters traveling to different systems. You have like space pirates, you have like the Zeal religious people, I forget, like the Great Worm or something, those guys. But those are random. There's no like space pirate hub where like all the space pirates, like that's like their system and you can like attack them and like take over their territory and whatever. That does not exist. Like they're just randomly generated throughout the world, well, throughout the systems that you travel. And because of this, because there's a serious lack of enemies outside of 3 main factions, it really limits your ability to level up. So like, again, the pilot, when I had to get 30 kills to get my 4th level of pilot, all I did was go from system to system, fast traveling, load screen, fast traveling, load screen, fast traveling, load screen, over and over again, trying to get random encounters where I could shoot some space pirates. Because I didn't want to get a bounty with the UC or the Freestar Collective, and I was already with the Crimson Fleet, so I didn't really have like a choice to do that. There's no all enemy faction. Like, the pirates are at war with everybody. I get that, but like, there's no like, they don't have a system. They're just like somewhere. They're everywhere and nowhere. Like, they're in some places, and then it's just random encounters. Like, there's no place where like they have like bases or anything. They're just like an enigma in the void. Like, that's it. And it would have been nice to have like a pirate base or a pirate hub or a pirate system or a pirate whole half of the galaxy that's been overrun. Like, that would have been a good thing. That would have been like a good variety. 27, there's a lot of fetch quests and a lot of like, you gotta do this to do this to do this, like 6 different levels of like different objectives to meet one objective types of quests. Like, there are so many quests where it's like, go here, talk to this person, go here, fast travel, load screen, fucking fast travel, fucking hold X to dock, hold X to board, blah blah, fast travel, like load screen. So many of those quests where it's like you're not actually doing anything except talking, and many of these quests can just be done with a phone call. Like, it's 2330. Like, we can get a fucking phone call, so I don't have to travel 4,000 light years across the universe to like say like, yeah, I got you a cup of coffee or whatever. Like, a phone call would have fixed that. Where's the phones? Give me a phone call. I don't gotta do this. I want to stay here. I want to stay here. I'm staying here. Call me.
We're headquartered in the upper floors of the Rock, but we also have remote stations throughout Freestar Collective space. Helps us to identify and respond to threats more quickly. There are less than a dozen Rangers in all, and we operate with limited resources. Thankfully,
Less than a
most
dozen
people respect
Rangers?
us and are willing to cooperate. In this job, your eyes, ears, and wits are every bit as important as your badge and your sidearm.
Where are we going?
Marshall. Emma.
I'm out of breath. 28. There's 1,000 planets. Oh my god, Todd. Thank you. 1,000 planets. If you visit 20, you visited every one. 95% of them are just fucking the same. It's just like, it's like 10 planets that are just repeated with like slightly different colors and whatnot, different resources.
F. Oh, I'm stupid. Scanning. Nice. Okay. Get this green stuff everywhere.
There's almost no point to exploration as it is, and the planets are so mundane, and especially doing the scanning and surveying different planets, it gives you some money, not really that much money. It's probably like the slowest and like most boring way you could possibly make credits in the game, and it's hardly an incentive. I mean, I guess if you want to do the Outpost, which I'll get to later, you have to survey and whatnot, but generally speaking, the planets suck. Again, the whole box thing, you're just in boxes anyways, and they're procedurally generated seed for the world, and it's the same random generated like locations. Like, oh, like here's a mining camp, here's a fucking like, here's a big ass rock in the way, like here's a lake that doesn't exist anymore. It's just like, it's you visit 10 to 20 planets, you visited every one. They're just carbon copies after a certain point. Number 29, the Outpost System. It serves really no purpose. If you've played Fallout 4 when it came out, you know that the settlement system had no purpose in the game, really. Never explained, no tutorial. It feels exactly the same. It's just tacked on to say, we have a settlement system. You can build shit. That's it. That's really the reason it's in the game. Zero tutorial. Zero. The only thing you can really do is obviously get resources which you can use to upgrade, your weapons, your spacesuit, like, do research and industry and like build stuff. And I get that. But those don't take too many resources to do. So after a very short while, like, you have enough already. So then what's the point? You basically get resources to build more outposts, to get more resources, to get more, and you see where it goes. It doesn't really go anywhere. at the end of the day, like, yeah, you could use it to build like a really nice outpost, like your own player home basically on a planet, but your spaceship is your player home. It's your mobile player home. That's kind of like the whole point of having the spaceship and customizing and whatnot. So it makes the player home on a planet outpost kind of seem like pointless. So like, I don't really see what the point of the outpost mechanic is, except just like a tacked on building sim in the game already, which is exactly what it was for Fallout 4, to be fair. And you know, it can be fun, but like it lacks the purpose that it really needed to have. What would have been nice, look at me thinking outside the box already, is if building outposts on planets claim the planet, and like, that's my planet, and they start your own like star faction, like, you know, Star Empire, like, oh my, I've claimed this planet because I have an outpost on it. That would have been cool. That would have been a better idea with the outpost mechanic. But Creative Engine makes people uncreative, I guess. Number 30. A lot of the random encounters in space are just fucking carbon copies of the same. I swear to God. Again, when I was getting my Pilot 4 status and I had to get 30 kills, I did a lot of random space battles to do that. And when I did that, I swear to fucking God, it was like the same asteroid fucking battle like every other time. It's like the same enemies in the same spot in the same asteroid field. It like literally waiting in the same fucking spot. The only difference was the levels were slightly different and the planets in the background were different. But like, I swear to God, it was like the fucking asteroids were in the exact same spot. They're literally carbon copies. And obviously, you're not really meant to like farm those kind of battles and like go to like one after the other. So they didn't think that like, oh, you wouldn't notice because like you're just farming those. But like, it's just laziness. Like, you can't procedurally generate like 10 different like random encounters. 2 asteroid field battles. That's all we got. We got 2. We got 2. We got 2. So you get the same 2 over and over again. And there are lots of instances like this all over the place. Like side activities, stuff like that, like random encounters, random events, a lot of repetitiveness. And I didn't even play that long. Like, I played like 20 hours or so on PC, probably 15 on Xbox. So 35 hours, I'm already noticing like carbon copy events happening. And it's just not good for the rest of the game. Alright, number 31. This is just, again, like, it's like the ammo thing. It's just so fucking stupid that it's not in the game already, that it boggles my mind. Like, I just can't. If you want to build a new ship from scratch, you can't, okay? There's no new ship design button, at least right now, on launch. There's no button for it.
View and modify, let's go. Oh my God, this is, I'm gonna spend my entire life in here. Wait, I don't have any ship overview. Ship builder. Ship builder? Wait, what? I can completely customize my ship so it doesn't look like a fucking, like a tarantula anymore? I'm flying around in a tarantula.
The only way to build a new ship, you have to take an existing ship, delete the whole thing, start from scratch. So you have to essentially delete one of your ships to make a new design. Now, this isn't a big deal because after you play for a little bit, you can hijack other ships and you can just use one of those. But in the beginning, I didn't understand why I couldn't build a new ship. I was like, my fucking first ship sucks dick. I want a new ship, please. And I'm like, I can't because I can't. There's no fucking button for it. There's no button for new ship. Like, it's one of those like things that they clearly just missed, and it's just like it's boggling because it's such a obvious thing to add in a game that shows off shipbuilding, and I can't build a new one. Like, I have to delete my old one. It's a good microcosm for the game. Just like tons and tons of these like little tiny just bad game designs and just missing elements that like like we expect to be there because it's a Bethesda game and they just aren't there. Alright guys, I'm fucking exhausted. That's 31 reasons why this game sucks. The game's not bad, okay? I give it like a 6 or 6.5 if I was gonna review it, which I'm not. It's a slightly above average game. With mods are gonna fix everything for PC. If you're on a console, like, I don't know, get fucked. Like, there's just no hope for you. Like, Bethesda obviously could fix a lot of these potential problems, but some of them are too outstanding. Like, the fact that we're using Creative Engine 2 in 2023 is just a fucking travesty. Like, it's my 9/11 event. I don't understand how it's even possible to still be using this engine. Like they're wrinkling this fucking towel of Creative Engine as tight as they get every drop out of it, and like they have to let it die. It's on hospice. Let Creative Engine 2 die. It has to die. This is the last game. And I swear to God, if Skyrim uses Creative Engine 2, like I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get drastic. Okay.